Hi there, my name is Katie and this is the How to Be a Minimalist YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about 5 daily habits that can improve your life. I know that I have not always been great at these things. Some of them I'm still practicing, some of them I have totally down. But every time I can make sure that I'm getting them into my daily schedule routine, it's always a good or much better day than it could have been. So let's get right into the video. The first one I wanted to talk about is drinking water right when you wake up. I remember reading a health book many years ago, it was about 10 years ago, and it made sense. When we wake up in the morning, we're dehydrated. We haven't had any kind of liquid or food in our bodies for 6 to 8 hours or somewhere around there. Once that thought occurred to me, like, wow, my body is really thirsty when I wake up in the morning, I began to make a habit of getting a drink of water first thing in the morning. I now drink about a quart or 32 ounces of water every morning within the first half hour to hour of waking. There are a lot of studies that say that it boosts your metabolism to have a drink of water first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. There are studies that say that you will be more alert and things like that. If I have a little bit of time to get that water flowing through my body, it just feels so much better. I am much more alert. It helps me to wake up and I just generally feel a little bit better. It's definitely a habit that I'm going to keep on practicing. Life can be so busy and taking a quiet moment can be really difficult. I'm at home quite a bit because I homeschool my children. I do all of these podcast vlogs and things like that. I also am pretty much a homebody, so there you go. The thing is though, even though I'm at home a lot, it still doesn't mean that I'm necessarily taking a quiet moment or having some meaningful quiet time for myself. What I've been trying to do is make sure that every day I have at least a few minutes where I'm just quiet and allowing myself to just relax. Sometimes this means that I lay down for about 10 minutes. I usually don't fall asleep, but I am giving myself a minute to rest. Sometimes it means I just listen to a little bit of music, pet my dog and hang out with him for a little bit, or journal. As long as I remember to get that like 10, 15, 30 minutes, whatever I can get, it just is a really good way to make sure that I can refocus my day and just relax and bring a little bit of peace into my life. Getting into nature is so important. My friend Vanessa from Fabled did a podcast several months ago, but it's something that's really stuck with me. And it talked about the benefits of being in nature. It talked about how some of our happiness levels can actually improve just from spending a few minutes in nature every day. It has helped me to feel clarity and focus, as well as just to inspire me and make me feel happier. My husband and I are currently a 1-vehicle family, and so I take him to work on the days that I want the car. Most of the time I have lately been taking him to work and then heading straight to a really nice walking path. It's been such a great way to start my morning, and it's a little bit of exercise that I can get in, and it's also my kind of quiet moment that I've been able to take for myself. Also, it's in nature, so it's just got a lot of benefits all in one package of just getting out for a walk. Sometimes it's hard to find a walking path or someplace that's safe and also beautiful where you can walk. So sometimes it's nice just to bring a little bit of nature into your house by having a house plant, or maybe you have a patio that you can kind of put a few plants on and enjoy those while you sit outside. The fourth habit I've worked really hard to develop and implement and keep it around is living with joyful gratitude. Now, of course, I'm grateful for food and for my shelter and for the ability I have to try to do all the different things that I try to do. I'm grateful for books that I have to teach my children and that they have the ability to read. I'm grateful for my children. I'm grateful for my husband. I'm grateful for my life. I'm so grateful for all of these things. I don't say that insincerely at all. I have, though, in the past felt when I was told to be grateful, it has made me feel a little bit of shame or guilt or things like that. It was like me having a desire for something else or something different was unacceptable in some way. And in that sense, I kind of came to have this kind of bad feeling whenever someone told me or implied that I should be grateful, because I already knew I was grateful. I'm starting to understand better what gratitude for me really means and how I want to practice gratitude. Of course, if you're struggling to see the good things in your life, then it's a great practice to write down or think about or verbalize all of the good things that you have in your life, because most of the time we have a lot of good in our life that when we're in a bad spot in our life, we have a really hard time seeing. To me though, this joyful gratitude is very, very different. It's a way of living joyfully, and it's a way of recognizing what you have in a happy way and in a mentality of having an abundance of things. Whether those things be beautiful relationships, beautiful experiences, or just being able to have some things that help your life to be a little bit easier. The things that I've been feeling lately as I've been practicing joyful gratitude are, instead of being upset that I have a bunch of dishes to do, I'm grateful that I was able to prepare beautiful, healthy foods for my family. And that little switch in my brain has helped me. It has also helped me in those situations where I just am having a beautiful experience and it's something I really want to remember. I might be hiking with my family, or see a beautiful flower, or just feel really cozy and warm, or maybe have a beautiful conversation with my husband or children. In those moments, I'm also practicing joyful gratitude, not just in those moments where I'd like to have a more uplifting attitude. Living joyfully and gratefully has been just such a benefit in my life, and it really has helped me to see abundance and goodness where maybe I wouldn't have recognized it before. There are going to be a lot of cuts in this segment, and it's because I'm still struggling to figure out how best to express this about joyful gratitude. But I will be making a video on it in the future, and by then I will be able to express perfectly what I mean about living joyfully grateful. For now though, I hope that I can just keep on practicing this because it has made my life so much better. Another daily habit would be to have a meaningful conversation with another person. I know that it's not always easy to make time for a meaningful conversation, but I have found that as I have made this a habit to really sit down, to look at my kids as I'm speaking to them, to really talk to them, to ask them questions about what they're doing. And the same with my husband, just sit down and ask him, like, what's going on with your life right now? Like, how are you doing? And just check in with him, or just talk about the funny stuff with him. All of those things have been so good for me to be able to practice. I want to always have strong relationships with my children and my husband. They're absolutely the most important relationships that I have. They're my people. I made those children. I want them to want to be a part of my life, and I want to always be a part of their lives. My husband and I have a really fun time. I want to keep on having a good relationship with him. It's something we've worked really hard to have, and I want that to continue always. So those three relationships that I have are the most significant. If I can't even make a moment though to sit down and talk with them during the day, I've also been trying to reach out to somebody either by phone or text or in person each day that is not in my immediate family. In these conversations, I'm trying to be an uplifting person, but I'm also really grateful that these people also uplift me, and I'm grateful that the relationships that I have in my life are, generally speaking, really uplifting and positive and supportive relationships. As a minimalist, I've really struggled to make sure that I'm not saying yes to everything. The problem with this can sometimes be that I don't have enough on my calendar that is, you know, a connection with someone else. And it allows me to grow and to be nourished and to nourish others, and then return to my family and have a better person to bring back to the table. Those are 5 of my habits that I have been trying to do each day, and they have added a lot of significant benefits to my life. Good luck as you're practicing those habits that are uplifting in your life, and remember, it's all about the experiences, not the stuff.